Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of a Stoked podcast. How is everybody doing today? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. One more day into the weekend. I got a long weekend this weekend, so I'm happy. I got 4 days.
4 days.
4 days, yeah. My job gave us an extra. We gave us Monday, so I am.
The golf clap.
I know the golf clap. I'm probably gonna end up doing nothing. I don't know. I have. Well, we'll get into it. I am Javon Stokes, aka the most opinionated man in comics. To my right,
There you go.
my
There
right,
you go.
my right,
Look
your
at Lord.
left is the professional hater Jamari Stokes, educator of youths. Which that line right there just scares the bejesus out of me every time I see it. Every time I say it. And as I said, this is a Stoke podcast, creative talk of creative people. I'm glad to see you guys again. We had a good show last week. I don't think Jamari was on. You weren't on for last week, were you?
Yes, I was.
You were? Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember.
Yes, sir.
I feel like we ended it early. We did end it
We
early.
did kind of end a
relatively.
little early. Yeah, we
Right,
did.
that's
Yeah.
right. I had to do dad things. Happens from time to time. We have a guest today. Hopefully, she's able to join. Looking forward to it. I don't know how, but I ended up with a bunch of SCAD alumni, so we've got another one. But before she gets on, we'll talk for a little bit. As always, I'm gonna upload the new updated Heat Wave 2023 schedule.
He's so proud.
I am. I'm always proud. Man, listen. Actually, I don't even think this is totally updated. I don't know if this is updated. This is we've added some dates.
Added dates.
Added dates.
So
So
you tricked other people into believing they want to see you?
I know. It boggles my mind. I'll be at Contropolis, New Jersey next weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And then I added I'll be doing Mice in Brookline, Massachusetts on September 30th to October 1st. That's another Saturday and Sunday. I do appreciate the 2-day ones because 3 days is a lot. And then there's one more in there that I haven't updated flyer. I just got to upload it. But I'll be doing Springfield Comic Con, which is the week after Contropolis. So July, I am Trump tight between Contropolis, Springfield Comic Con, Connecticut, which might just be for now. I'm doing a panel, and then Terrificon, and then even after that, I'll be doing Fan Expo Boston, and then 2 weeks after that, I'll be doing Plastic City Comic Con, which is one day, and then CT Collecticon, which is one day. And unfortunately, I am not able. I was not accepted to do Dragon Con, and I wasn't accepted to do New York Comic Con. So those we will have to wait until next year. But hopefully I am able to make it to Dragon Con next year. And I didn't get in the Blurred Con. I really thought I had a good shot this year, but unfortunately, didn't look like it's in the cards. But it's okay. Next year I'm going to Blurred Con, whether I table or not. That's it. That will be my nerd vacation.
Your nerd vacation is what
That
you're
will be
calling
my nerd vacation. I have heard many, many good things about BlurredCon. I've had many people tell me that I need to go, even if I'm not tabling. If I'd planned better, I probably would have did it this year. But then somebody, well, among many things, somebody decided to destroy my car. So, yeah, got to pay for that and get a new car. But we're working on it. So yes, that is the once again, if you haven't seen it, I usually post it online. New dates are being added. I don't know when that will stop. I know that the tour will stop in December. I don't really want to do anything in December for many reasons, but number one, I don't want to be driving in the winter at all. I hate that. That will be my vacation. It will be my vacation time that I will happily do nothing for the entire month, and then we'll get back at it. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next year. I don't have any dates planned yet, but
Oh,
I'm
yes, you do.
hoping. I am hoping. Hold on. Savion says, "Hey, y'all can't stay long because I'm on break at work. I'm happy to catch one of these during the work." Yes, sir. Savion is actually going to help me at one of my cons. So if you come by, you might see a young man getting to know the ins and outs. Shout out to Kenji. Yes, it's getting that heat in here. Absolutely. We're working on it. Actually, the one thing I'm learning over the last few weeks is Strong might be my bestseller. Uh, I have been pretty much selling out the last few cons of my Strong books. So if you enjoyed Strong, know that I am working diligently to begin the script for the first issue. I already have an artist in mind who's going to do it. I just need to finish the script. I've been working so hard on Heat that, but I do. We can talk a couple things. I will be on, um, uh, what is the name of their? They're gonna be so mad at me. Danny and Kyron show podcast this Saturday morning. I think it's at 10 Eastern. So I will be on there causing chaos and giving my hot takes as usual. But we're also going to talk about some projects that I've got coming up. So I'm gonna announce a few of them that will be happening. Visually Stoked media projects that will be taking place over the next few months. But I will have to say I'll give one what do you call it exclusive for this show. I am working on a script for a animated version of Heat. I am working on the script. The goal is to finish the script, find some best show with the same last names. That's right. That's right. You darn right. There's actually another Stokes, a writer, very talented writer. I'm trying to get on the show so we can be Stokes times 3 for at least one night. Um, but we're working on it. We're working on it. I don't know if he's related to us. I have no idea. I'm really interested to see if we can work our way through the genealogy.
There's no way. That'd be
You
very,
never know.
very,
You never
very
know.
odd.
You never know.
So here's, you know what? Since you've been doing this, I'm gonna interject here. So what have you learned on this little tour this year? Because you presented this whole idea to me way back at the beginning of this year.
What have I learned? I've learned that
What have
I've
you
learned I
learned,
have
sir?
my stamina is a lot better than I thought it would be. I thought I would be just exhausted and done by this time. Um, by this time, by halfway through it, but I am actually energized. The more dates I get, the more excited I get. I've learned how to maximize my pitch. So I used to stumble. I used to, you've heard my pitch before, and I used to say a lot more words. Now I have like 2 sentences, and then I usually can tell if the person is interested or not. I joke, and I have no problem saying this on here, but I joke that if I'm giving my pitch and I say the pitch, and usually if they say, "So how long have you been doing this?" they're not going to buy the book. It's I would say 70% of the
Interesting.
time, if I give my pitch and somebody's kind of looking through the book and they look through the pages, they ask, "How long have you been doing this?" It's almost, I would say, 75 to 80% of the time that person has no intention on buying the book. They're just kind of politely talking to you, and then they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'll follow you on social media or something like that." I said it. I used to said it to Ro at Heroes Con, and Ro was like, he started to see it, and And but I've learned how to maximize my pitch. I've learned how to kind of spot who I think will buy my book, as opposed to just, like, I say hi to everybody, but there are people who I kind of know have no intention on even come close to me, and then there are people who I know if I just get them at the table, I got them. And then I realized, like, I learned that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because there are many times within this process where I've been like, am I supposed to be doing this? And then something will happen that will show, that will kind of go, okay, all right, yeah, I'm on the right path. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that's ever kind of dealt with that. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it's still going, because it could have been really short. It could have been really, really short. But it's kind of working out the way that I thought it would. And I'm just hoping that for next year, the seeds that I've laid this year with networking and marketing and everything bear greater fruit next year. And what that greater fruit looks like, I don't know. Hopefully, less tables I got to pay for, and maybe one or two travels that get picked up for me. That would be nice. That would show progress. But I am seeing a lot more tables that I'm not paying for, which is, kind of one of the big goals that we all, indie people strive to do, is to not pay for the table.
Now, I just want to make something clear, Kevin. Javon has nothing to do ever with my budget for anything so
Javon has no
I'm in a
budget.
different spot today. Yeah, there's zero budget.
Well, there's a budget, but
the,
the budget is for Restream. It's for the Restream. That is the. I mean, listen.
the
We were talking about getting sponsors for top 5, and I'm like, I need a sponsor for a Stoked podcast. So if you know somebody who knows somebody, send them this way.
Please. I'm in a different place today, so lighting and background is different than what I'm normally used to.
All right, we're waiting on a guest, so we'll chit chat a bit. That's okay. This is not the first time. Not the first time at all.
No,
sometimes things
it's
happen,
happened.
man. Sometimes things happen. Let me shoot her an email.
So, without giving anything away, tell me about the movie you watched this week.
Oh, The Blackening.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed The Blackening. I thought it was funny. I on top 5, I gave probably a 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny. There were a couple of laugh out loud moments. There's a really cool piece in the middle of the film, not the middle, actually, early mid, between, in the first act, where it's almost like audience participation. I don't want to spoil it, but I thought it was really good. I really did. I'm trying to take my wife to go see it because it's not scary in the slightest. Well, let me rephrase it. I'm a horror movie guy, so understand that everything I say is through the lens of somebody who is desensitized to horror movies. I'll tell a quick story because I am a horror movie guy, and I told my wife this story, so y'all have I have no problem with embarrassing myself. I gotten a box from FedEx of my comic books. And so I brought the box into the house and I put the box down next to my backpack. And so I was like, I went, I think I went to the bathroom and came back and I heard the scratching. Now I had brought 2 boxes in, one really big one really small one. So I heard the scratching and I'm like, what is that noise? And so I go outside, I go into my, the floor, like the small area by the door, because I'm thinking it's the dog that's scratching on the big box. So I go inside, I go to look at the big box. The dog is like 5 feet away. He's nowhere near the box. And he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him like, okay, if it ain't you, then where's the scratching come from? So I come into my office and I look at my box. and I literally hear scratching coming from my box. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm about to call FedEx right now and tell them to come get this this mess. But then I looked closer, and my backpack had opened, and it was scratching as it was falling, scratching against the side of it. But for like 2 seconds there, I was about to put that box right outside.
So what you're saying is you thought you had
I
Vecna in a
thought I had
box.
something. I thought I was in a horror movie, and I was like, "Not today, Satan." I was putting it right outside, like literally, like nope. But yes, but it's not. But again, the blackening, I don't find it that scary. Um, it's way more funny.
Is it
No.
entertaining?
That's absolutely entertaining. If you're a black person, you will enjoy it because it is for the.
Now you realize there are some black people that probably would absolutely
Well,
not
here's the
enjoy
thing:
it.
it's for the culture, though. When I say it's for the culture, it's like there are jokes that if you run in circles with black people, you probably will get.
Okay.
So it's definitely worth to see. It's worth a watch. Uh, but I do want to, since we're talking about things, I want to talk about a show that doesn't get enough love, and it's going into its last season next year, I believe. And it's Superman and Lois. I don't know
Okay.
why more people. This is the best version of Superman.
First off, what does it come on?
CW.
Yeah, I don't
And I
even
know,
do
I know.
what because I don't have cable.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I have pulled that plug, so I've
It's on
not
the
had cable.
CW. It is the best version
Probably
of
threw me in.
Superman. The best version of Superman since Christopher Reeve. I'll stand by that.
You have waved the flag for this
I have been
show
there from
several.
jump. You know this. I've been there
So
from jump. It is the best version of Superman. I will die on that hill. Don't come to me with Henry Cavill. Don't come to me with Brandon Routh, Dean Cain. I want to hear it. This is not including the cartoon, of course. The best live action version of Superman is,
good
is
caveat there,
Superman and
because
Lois.
I'm sure somebody would have had something to say about it not being as good as the
I
animated
highly
version.
recommend it. What else do I recommend? I recommend Secret Invasion.
Now that is interesting because I have not watched either one of the two episodes.
Secret Invasion is exactly what people have been complaining that they want the MCU to do. It is exactly like people have been complaining and being frustrated with MCU not doing different things and just doing, hey, what's up, man? What's up, Afro? Let's see. I hear a lot of good things about Superman and Lois, especially married people. It's a really really good representation of like a healthy marriage.
Which is something rare in comics because comics do
Right.
not like they're
No,
it's like
comics
they're
don't like
allergic.
marriage. The
They're
only
allergic.
marriage comics like is Reed Richards and Sue Storm.
Do they even like that marriage?
Yeah, they always trying to make her like
Come on,
cheat on him.
they Sue Storm in a lot of ways is for the streets now. She's for the earth.
Yeah. But it's definitely good. I like how they play Superman as like a corny dad because that's how I would view Superman as a corny dad. Um, but the kids are okay. One of the sons, he's been annoying from Jump Street, but
Really.
yeah, but he's I believe he's on the spectrum in the show, so I am willing to give like okay, so his some of the quirks might be that. But yeah, but anyway, Secret Invasion, absolutely good. The first episode was okay. Second episode, way better. Way better.
And it's 6 episodes total, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
they're about, they're
Admittedly, I have not watched any
good.
of it. And that one I've been kind of curious about, but I've had my, there's been things I've been trying to keep up with, um, work life stuff that I'm just like, okay, I need to take care of these things. But
No,
yeah,
I
I
get it.
definitely
I
want
get
to,
it.
I definitely want to see Secret Invasion. Am I
Oh, I've
looking?
got another recommendation.
Okay.
From. If you haven't watched From, if you are a fan of like Lost, if you're a fan of like, you know, weird, shows where the mystery and you have no idea what's happening and stuff like that, you'll like From. What?
You said Lost and you lost me.
Whatever. Lost is awesome. Don't let the last season fool you. Lost is good. I will die on this hill. On this hill.
I know. I absolutely know you would. But as soon as you said Lost, I had no interest in seeing this show. And you
Whatever.
was like,
But
From. And
From
then
is
you,
basically a show about like it's his family that's driving on vacation. I don't remember where they're going, but they find themselves in this town. And this town's got a bunch of people in it, and you can't leave the town. Like no matter how far you drive, it takes you all the way back to the town. And at night, these like creatures come out, but they're not like they're creatures, but they have like regular people's face, and they're just coming to knock on the door or to get in, and they want you to come outside. And then if you come outside, you dead. And the only thing keeping them out is these like little bags of stuff. But there are all these mysteries and stuff. It's only 2 seasons in. It's on MGM, I believe. But it's
yeah.
got Harold Perrineau is in it. And you know him. Like I keep telling people, if you travel with Harold Perrineau, you ain't coming home. You either gonna end up in jail, on an island, or stuck in the forest.
Who is
Like
this you speak of? I don't even know who
you
you're
know who
talking
Harold Perrineau is. He's been in a ton of stuff. He was in Lost. Walt, dude screaming Walt. He was in the Matrix.
Oh,
The
okay.
Matrix
Okay, now I know who you're
of
talking. All right, I
sequels.
just had to see his face. I didn't know his actual name.
Yeah,
But
he was
yes,
the
I
dude
know.
in the
I know
Matrix sequel.
exactly who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
everybody know that dude. That
Yeah,
dude is like
yes, and
he's like he's absolutely
he's the ultimate like black actor. That guy. Everyone knows who this guy is. They don't necessarily like know. Yeah, he's the ultimate black that guy actor.
he's the is it more supernatural than science fiction? Yeah, I would say it's more supernatural. It's not really science fiction.
I did. The only thing I've done is I've watched all of the episodes of Black Mirror. That's like the most recent thing that I know that anyone has felt, I guess, relevant for. So
Black Mirror, I'm gonna give 3 out of 5 stars for the season.
for the
Because
season,
I really only like three
because
out of
was it
five of the
five? It was
episodes.
5 episodes.
Right. I didn't the last 2
I guess
episodes
that's
didn't
fair.
fit. They didn't fit Black Mirror for me. They just didn't. Like
I liked the fourth one more than everybody else did, but I understand why a lot of people didn't necessarily vibe with it. So I
it didn't
get
feel like Black Mirror. To me, it wasn't Black Mirror. It was something else. Even the last one wasn't really. They weren't bad. Like if you put those episodes in to like the Twilight Zone, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, those are good episodes. But they just didn't fit.
So.
So
Which one was your favorite episode out of those three that seemed to be the really strong episodes?
right. So there was the
You
Joan is
had
awful.
From the Sea, Joan is Awful, and Lock
And
Henry.
I want to say probably the astronaut one.
From the Sea.
Yeah, because it was one of those episodes where like every choice that was made was a logical one, but you also knew no good was gonna come from it.
Yes. Yeah, that
Like
was
again, like there's
Beyond the Sea.
definitely it was almost like a no-win situation. But again, Listen, spoilers. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, I'm telling you right now, if I was that dude and he did that to my family, if I need him to live, that's fine. But every
No,
time I see him,
no.
I'd stomp him. Like he would.
Well, my whole thing is at that point.
Nah, man, I would literally beat his behind I would beat him so bad, I'd let him heal up, and then I whoop him some more. If you will know pain, you will know pain for this entire rest of this trip
You
until
see,
the
you're nicer
moment
than me because I would have been like, well, NASA's not getting their shit back ever. That's how I feel. There's no better
that too. That
NASA's
too.
not getting their shit back because I was like, because no, there's no way we're both gonna die.
Probably, you know what?
We're
If
both
I'm being
going
honest, we probably would have just died. We
we're
probably
both
both
gonna
would have
die.
died.
We are absolutely going to die because there's
Yeah,
no way
yeah.
I can't allow this person to live.
No, you can't live. We can't. I mean,
Um,
and still, like that's the the rule. Don't allow another man in your house, and
well,
that's
my thing is there were things that could have been done to kind of prevent some of that.
Oh yeah,
But there were steps that could have been taken.
Old girl should have been every time he stepped in that body, she should have been out.
Yeah.
Out. Like you go to the city, you go see your parents. You are not to be in the same house with him. You let him paint to his heart's content.
The what was it? For now, Lock Henry. Here's my question. You get to the end of Lock Henry. If you're the guy at the end of Lock Henry, how long before you blow your brains out?
I mean, I'm not really a suicide guy.
But you understand why I asked that question.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have.
I would get. I guess not. But man,
yeah, that's a
tough existence to have. Like again, you're in an impossible situation because here's something. Would you have allowed that documentary to happen?
I mean, something got to come from it. I mean, what's the alternative? Somebody would have
made the documentary
right.
Anyway.
Better
so
you get
I suppose so. Clearly, in a weird way, he saves his town.
That's what I'm saying. Like I probably would have been like, whatever, let's just do it. I wouldn't have been happy about it. Yeah. I don't know if I would have been up on stage like he was. I don't know if I would have. I would have just give me my money, give me my trophy, and I'll go away and mourn for a bit.
Go live in some obscure country or something.
I feel bad for him, dude.
Oh yes.
But those to me feel like Black Mirror episodes. Like Jonah's Awful too was absolutely a Black Mirror episode.
That one I loved, like the just twistedness of Jonah's Awful, because there's humor there was this dark humor that I loved about the situation of Jonah's Awful, and on top of that, I really enjoyed the meta-ness of it, particularly once we start playing with the Inception elements of that episode. So it was very funny for that to pop up, and I see why that was kind of the one they were pushing initially when they were showing stuff for the new season, particularly because you have some of the names that you had in it.
Yeah, I mean, they usually it seems like of the new batch, since it's become kind of Americanized, Black Mirror, like the first one is always a little more lighthearted. That's what they did with the Nosedive, and then they did that with
I guess do you call Nosedive lighthearted? It's certainly dark.
I mean, it's lighthearted. It's that
dark humor element.
It ain't like Across the Sea or whatever.
Oh no,
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
that's some
lighthearted
deep dark.
and
That is that and Lock Henry. They're so that those are dark ones.
those are
You
real.
gotta go. You gotta step away from the TV after watching those 2 episodes. Like
I watched it. I was watching it while I was sitting in the airport for my flight back from North Carolina, and I was sitting there like, I'm telling you, I would stomp him right then. And
yes,
he just pulled out the chair like, oh,
no,
like
I
we
would have picked
supposed
the
to be
chair up
cool.
and started beating
I'd
him.
have beat that chair. I'd have beat that dude with a bat. Oh no, absolutely not.
Well,
Like
I
listen,
feel
I
like
felt bad
you're
for the
already
guy.
at an impasse the moment you discover the pictures in his room.
Oh no.
Like that alone,
That should have told
that
him what was going to happen.
like there's no way. I would rather have told my wife destroy the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
Send it
destroy the
back,
character. Yeah,
destroy it, send it back to
Yeah.
that's the only way I feel like you would have been able to work with make that because there's nothing else because
And then I don't get why
I
they
wouldn't trusted him. I would have been worried about him trying to get back anyway.
Yeah, that was a stupid
Absolutely
part.
that's absolutely would have been on my mind. Like, what is he going to do to try to get back?
He literally told him, I need to go back and talk to him. And you
Yeah.
still gave him your key. Like, I get it. That's procedure. But
Yes.
I would have been like, nah, this key can stay with me this time.
Yes, exactly.
This key can stay with me.
There's just no you know what? It would have been more like, yo, you're going out this time.
Yeah, like, nah, bro.
You're going out.
You have a new responsibility today.
I'm gonna walk you through it, whatever it has to be.
No, and then I didn't get why they couldn't turn back around. Maybe I got to rewatch it. And this
supposedly they were 2 years in at the point of the story.
Nah, we gotta turn back around.
There's no good way of that situation.
No, we just turn it back around.
I would have
turn back around, and I would tell. I'm gonna be like NASA when he come back, he ain't gonna look right because I'll be
honest with you. The entire idea with NASA doing this as a 2-man mission, I thought was stupid from jump.
Well, I don't. I mean, we don't really know what the mission is, so I'm not gonna sit here and. Oh, what was stupid is that they don't have backup.
Exactly my point.
Like they don't have a
there should have been a second crew, or you should have had 2 alternates in there that you alternate them in once a week or something. Like, what was going on here, man? It was, I like I said, I enjoyed the overall. I enjoyed the episode, and I enjoyed the questions it brought up, the ideas it brought. I really enjoyed the parallels that they did with using concepts like the helter skelter stuff with Charles Manson and all of that, with the people coming into the house, and it was overall. I was very entertained with.
I was like, why the wife ain't say nothing?
Yeah.
That was weird.
If she clearly had some sort of suspicion, I'm assuming.
And then he rolled down with again, there are a few things that you have to overlook for the sake of moving the story along. Like, if NASA knew that people had an issue with it, why are they not under surveillance? Why do they not have security? Like again, but overall, like I said, and then the last 2 episodes, I thought that they were good episodes. They weren't inherently like bad, but they just felt out of place with Black Mirror. Like,
I kind of guessed the Maisie Day.
I didn't guess the Maisie Day at all.
I guessed the twist on that for one reason, but I'm not gonna say anything right now.
And then the last one I thought was I thought it was a good episode. I just didn't, like I said, just didn't feel like Black Mirror. It felt like a totally different show to me. And I was just, I don't know if you took those 2 episodes out and put them in a different show, I probably would be like, those 2 good episodes of TV. But I'm trying to think, what else have I?
Well, tell me this: what are you reading comic-wise? Or are you reading any comics?
I have been getting caught up on Philadelphia.
I still want to read that.
I'm in the 3rd trade right now. I haven't been able haven't I haven't read it yet. Um, I did buy the Milestone uh, uh, one shot with all the different stories. Shout out to Greg Burnham. Shout out to Gregory Maldonado. Shout out to Anthony Fowler. You know, all these guys that were on the book doing great work, great artists. Outside of that, oh, I picked up the Nightwing trade for the newest for the Tom Taylor run, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Trying to think what else. I don't get to pick up individual issues anymore. Just because it's hard for me to keep track. I did get a couple of books um, for my Kickstarters. No, I'm gonna say this about my cons. If you're at a con with me and I don't buy your book, don't take it. Please don't take offense to it. My profit margin is like this big, so if I I would if I want to buy one book, you know what I mean? Like I want to, like oh I want to buy them all, and I don't, and that, so I don't buy any. But if you have a Kickstarter, 9 times out of 10, if I know you, I'll support you. If it looks cool, I'll support you. I do way more Kickstarters than I buy books. So I just want to make sure I put that out there so that like because I know there are people who I meet and I don't buy their book, and it's not that I'm not trying to support. You can come on the show. We can absolutely do stuff to help you promote your book, your Kickstarters. But I don't buy anybody's book. Um, I, I don't buy anybody's book when I go to Comic Cons because I do so many cons. And if I bought everybody's book at every con that I was at, and I won't be offended if you're tabling and you don't buy my book. I'm not offended by that. If you do, God bless you. If you do, I understand. We all got profit margins. So I just
I'm
want to make
offended
sure.
for you.
Well.
In fact, if you message me, I will shame him on screen
There is no
for fun.
particular person I'm talking about, but I've,
No, I
listen.
will
There's a
have
lot
no
of,
problems with this. If you feel
really.
slighted by Javon in any way, I will gladly shame him
I
in
apologize.
your
That was
place.
not my intention.
I'm
I
sure
truly
some people
do.
like shaming you on stream anyway.
Wouldn't be the first. You talking to a guy that grew up getting bullied. Can't really do much to me.
So what are your bad takes this week? What have you had some bad takes for? I've seen a couple of them on
What was it? Oh, I get. I'll read my bad takes. Hold on. What did he say? Who's
favorite
your favorite milestone artist, past or present? That's hard. I can't say I have a favorite. The present milestone, Nicholas Drape, is it Draper Ivy, who's doing Static, is doing phenomenal work. Um, Dennis Cohen is my guy. So I love Dennis Cohen's artwork. Um, ND Bright, Mark Bright, who did Icon back in the day. I everything I love Mark Bright's work. I love his work. I loved it in Milestone. I loved it when he did Green Lantern. I loved it when he did Quantum and Woody. Like I'm just a big fan. I think he did Iron Man too. Did he do Iron Man? I can't remember. Anyway, and then John Paul Leon, his run on Static, friggin' phenomenal. That his art was the reason why I kept reading. Because back in the day, I was more of an art guy than I wasn't a writer guy. I would follow artists from book to book. It wasn't until I got a little older that I started following writers too. So I used to follow like Howard Porter. I used to follow Howard Porter everywhere. when he did Justice. When I saw his Justice League, I was like, wherever you going, I'm going. Ron Garney. Uh, I follow Ron Garney's work pretty much everywhere. Um, who else do I follow? The Kuberts. I used to follow Andy and Adam Kubert everywhere, anywhere they went. Scott Collins. I definitely started following Scott Collins everywhere he went, but I like his Flash better.
Are you going to follow Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies?
No,
No. Still a Celtics fan?
I mean I'm a Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown fan. You know, I am I appreciate Marcus Smart for everything he's done. Um, but I don't know if I was ever the biggest Marcus Smart fan. I like the way he plays. Like I love the way Marcus Smart plays. Um, so again, it sucks that he left, but I'm riding with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. And if they ever break up, then then I'll probably switch. It looks like our guest is trying to log in, so hopefully she gets in.
Mm-hmm.
Might be an abbreviated episode. Hold on, great choice. Great choices. I recently bought 1989 back issues of a comic called Dr. Zero with Dennis Cohn. I love Bill Sienkiewicz. I love Bill Sienkiewicz. Love him. Absolutely love him. He is an artist that I did not appreciate until I got older. I just didn't appreciate it. I didn't understand it until I got older. But yeah, there's a lot of artists who I love. George Perez, everywhere George Perez. Oh, our guest is here. Usually I do a big formal flowery introduction, but we just gonna dive into it because we want to get as much time as possible. So
Let's do that.
I want to introduce a fellow SCAD alumni who I have not actually met, but we all SCAD alumni, we all family. So introducing Erika E. Wade.
Hi.
We can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you.
Cool. How are you all doing tonight?
Good evening.
We are
How are
good.
you?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking.
Good, good. Are you a different time zone?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
See,
explains.
that's the thing with the remote stuff. You never know.
I thought I put the EST in there. If I didn't, I apologize.
You more than likely did. I just, again, slipped my mind. So I was
That's
reading.
okay. That's
I
all right.
actually today, for the full day, was doing a theater scouting, so I wasn't on my phone until this evening. I
Okay.
have a show that's coming up.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, now we're gonna get into it. Tell us about the
Mhm.
show. Tell us about it.
Well, speaking of SCAD, my thesis from SCAD was a one-woman show called The Rhythm the Blues, and honestly, as a dramatic writing student, I never really imagined the performance would be a huge part, of my career. We don't even talk like that in the department. Well, we didn't talk like that in the department, but I had some really amazing teachers that saw performance in me, and so they suggested that I do a show that I could perform. So this is great, right? I'm like, I'll write a show. It's fine, and then end up writing a show that is a one woman show that has 12 to 14 characters that has an emotional arc. I mean, from laughter to tears, audience engagement, um, improv, where I have to
Wow.
respond to the audience, dance, and pantomiming. And it's all fun and games when you write it, right?
Right.
But then you get in rehearsal, and there's so much more respect that goes to the actor and what the actor's process is like. But this is the I think 10th run of the show, so I guess it's going good.
Hey, congratulations. So
Thank
for obviously we didn't get the introductions in, but
you. Right, yeah.
Miss Erika Wade is a writer, producer, and performer. She is, like I said, a SCAD alumni, as well as an entrepreneur. She's got her own production company called Glenda's Baby Productions. She clearly is a triple threat. Wait, no, you said singing, so
No.
no,
Pantomiming.
no. Oh, okay. Well, you said
No.
musical, didn't you? You
Well,
didn't say
it's
music.
music in there, but I let the people sing the songs. I
Okay,
put a hat
okay.
on that don't fit my head.
Ah, okay. Not that hat. Okay, that's all right. That's okay.
Yep.
Hey,
I am a voice actor, but I leave it at the talking.
you until they bring it'll be like what's the movie? What's the Disney movie? Aladdin. When they get to the singing, they bring in
Look,
Somebody else.
you
Yep.
know what? When a
they
voice,
bring in the black people to do the sing.
they always try to slide it on you too, kind of like, oh, Erica, just sing it, just. And I look at these people like my contract says nothing
Mm,
about a note.
not even a little bit. You can't hold a note
I mean, probably, but I just would rather not try to find out
on stage.
on stage or on something that's gonna air in my house with my dogs, maybe. But if people pay
You gotta,
money,
you gotta at least try it one time just to see. You gotta try it and figure out because you don't know. You might have that. That might be another skill, and then somebody got to give you another check.
okay, well, I'll make a YouTube video that y'all can roast later, but at least nobody has to pay to
I was
see
gonna
it.
say, I'm
I mean,
assuming that you've done many a singing in your bathroom, so
Yeah,
most people know what they sound like.
I
So I
know
wasn't
that
gonna push it.
with vocal coaching, I'm pretty sure that I can hold the. I think it's the stamina that I'm missing. Because people don't really respect what power it takes to sustain voice
Right.
in a performance, even a performance
absolutely.
that's 5 minutes long, right? The stamina and the training to talk through this 2-hour show. I have to cut my diet. Like I love coffee. I can't do it because I have notes that don't really respond well to the acidity in certain foods. And
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
I respect singers and
Oh yeah.
actors so much more. Now I bow down to you, gracious people.
I mean, I know like when I used to sing in the choir, like I love mac and cheese,
Mhm.
and so like before we couldn't eat mac and cheese because the dairy coats your throat.
Yeah.
So I used to hate that. So I'm glad I stopped trying to be a singer. That was listen. We all got our ministries. That was a lifestyle I don't think I was ready for. So usually I get into it, but you brought up a project that you're working on, but we'll kind of circle back that way. For our traditional question for the show, when did you fall in love with writing for performance?
Honestly, I fell in love with writing for performance at a very early age, but I fought that love. Um, I always knew that I was a strong writer and storyteller. I think that much I couldn't dismiss away, but I don't know why I always thought, I was never in acting classes. I was always in performance spaces, but just never did the traditional route to acting. So anytime someone would call me a performer, I would correct them immediately and say, no, I just, I'm just funny, or I could talk, or something like that, dismissive, really. It wasn't until SCAD.
Okay.
Well,
I've been
you clearly got to SCAD, so you had to have known something was pulling you there.
Well, I knew the writing, right? And I never before SCAD took a full step into dramatic writing. I always tell my teachers, even now, which I'm so blessed to say that we feel more like colleagues than teacher student. But I tell them, why y'all let me in this place? I sent y'all some poems, a short story, and a screenplay that I hope never sees the light of day. And it's always the same answer: is your ability to tell a story was so apparent that we can teach you format, right?
Right.
So the writing was never anything I questioned. I could tell you I fell in love with writing as soon as I learned how to do it. So age 4.
Okay.
But writing for performance specifically, I was still fighting it. I'd be in class cutting up. Like now, I don't even got a chance to ask your questions. I'm just talking because this is
That's all
how
right.
I am.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We're here.
So I was always doing it, and people would call me a performer, or even the casting department at SCAD attempted to cast me in things.
Really?
And I was just like, oh, no, I'm a writer. I maybe stand up. I did spoken word, but I'm not a performer, all of that. And I think it was an improv class with David Stork. And he was just like, you need to stop. Can I curse?
Yes.
He's like, you need to stop bullshitting, right? and to have him call me on it like that and say, the longer that you deny that you can perform, the more foolish you're going to look in your career, because people will think that you're an idiot who has no ability to assess what their own strengths are.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very SCAD teacher thing to say.
God bless it. And if you ask David to this day, he'll probably be like, yeah, something along the lines of that, But after that, I just said, well, let's do it. And I started to act in, short films, and people would call me. I was on a list for comedic actors to call to be in these films and things. And so I was like, well, if other people can write stuff and I can read it, do it, fairly well, what if I could do it? And therefore the thesis.
Okay.
So that was my first time really writing something for me to perform, was the thesis.
Okay. Now are you still at SCAD, or you out of SCAD?
I'm out of SCAD.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you tell me so I know SCAD life as an animator, as tell me SCAD life, because you came in for writing, right?
Yeah, dramatic writing.
But did you change your major, or okay. So tell me what SCAD is like for writers, because I don't know. I'm trying to think if I know anybody who had a major in writing. I don't think I know one person.
See, we hide kind of like animators to a degree, because we would say the same thing about y'all. Like, they be in a dark room somewhere, child. You'll find them. But I'll say this. People always say it sounds like I'm preaching the SCAD gospel, but I can only speak for my experiences. My experiences were, I had teachers that saw what I had strengths in and made opportunities that didn't exist. There were no performance opportunities for writers, but they saw I could do it and should get more strength in it. And so they pushed me, toward more film classes and toward more, acting classes. And they made stuff fit so that I could graduate with these classes instead. Same with producing. Andy Meyer, he saw me in a producing class and was just like, you're going to AD film festival. And I said, okay, yeah. And so he created an opportunity for me to do this. And without these teachers that saw something and said, forget what department this person is in, they have these skill sets that I think could do well here. I don't know if I would have gotten into producing. And man, when I tell you, if it's something I think I give a run for its money besides writing, it's producing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it, because again, we had somebody on last week, Loso Perez. I don't know if you know him. I'm not sure what year you are.
I left, I think, in 2016.
26. Atlanta or Savannah?
Savannah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you were still in. I keep forgetting how long I've been out. I keep forgetting. Okay, because I did Savannah campus too. But long time ago. So what was it like? Because I know other people have come on, and I know my friends, we all talk, and we talk about how it was like boot camp. Like it was like art boot camp. Did you feel that way for you?
Yes, especially with writers, because here's the thing that no professor will tell you, but I'm going to spill the beans. It is easier to make an amazing writer if you don't have too many of them to make. So when we first get accepted into these writing programs, and I know this to be truth because it was the same thing in high school. I went to an arts high school where I had to apply, audition, all that for writing. they will weed you out. They'll accept a larger class and then weed you out because it's so much easier for a professor to hone in and to really challenge and push a smaller group of writers in a larger group. Because think about the scripts, right? When I have portfolio reviews and I have to do it at colleges, I always try to ask them, send me something, 30 pages or less. If not, I'll try, but sometimes scripts can get on the upwards of hundreds of pages. Well, if they hundreds, but you see what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So they would weed us out with the rigor for sure, right? And you rose to the occasion or not. All of us are coming in having a strength in an area, but having complete blindness in another area, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I straight up said I would never be a playwright. Look at me now. But I knew nothing about writing plays at all. And so I thought for sure I would fail since our first quarter was playwriting. You see,
Mm-hmm.
so they put you in these positions to where you have to really rise to the occasion. And I think 6 of us, 4 to 6, I can't quite remember the number because it fluctuated, started off in the first year, and 2 dramatic writing grads left SCAD with degrees.
Mm.
Myself and my homegirl, Sarah Reiser. We were the only ones. And I'm going to tell you how we did it. We stuck together. From
Okay.
the end of first quarter, I looked at her, she looked at me, and I was like, I'll read your stuff, you read mine. And you have to kind of partner up like a boot camp. I would assume you partner up with people who could challenge you and keep you on your stuff, because it could be anything from, okay, I didn't proofread a page, and that is the page that we stay on for the entire session.
Mm.
It's interesting.
No, please stop me. Yeah, what were you saying?
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I teach basics with writing, and I start with the 9th graders, and I tell them all the time, before you bring it to me, you need to let 2 pairs of eyes read over whatever you're going to bring, even if you just think this is just a basic essay, because y'all gonna almost be harder than me.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm gonna go about structure and everything else, but y'all are gonna pick up on stuff, and y'all will probably talk to each other better than, I can tell you technical and everything else, but you're gonna listen to your peers faster than you listen to me.
Because that's the audience you're writing for, essentially. I mean, yes, we want to try to have a broad audience, but when we write, we're writing for people that are kind of close in our range, that understand the world the way we do. And so it's so important to get a peer response. And sometimes we would challenge teachers in classes, which they love in the writing department. I don't know about everybody else, but we would challenge teachers together based off of what we know our audience is looking for. So I feel bad for people that can't keep up with it, but I will say in the industry, that environment and what you learn from trying to stay at SCAD and excel at SCAD, it really pays off.
I would actually agree. I think we had a weeding out process too. It wasn't that bad. Where only like 2 of us left. Like, it wasn't that bad. But I do remember like my first couple of years in Savannah. There were a lot of kids because I started doing sequential art, and then I did computer art. But I do remember there were kids that would come in, and this is before we even get to the major, like freshman year, who would like all they drew was like manga and like anime stuff. And like by the end of the first quarter, you didn't see them again. They was out.
And you never heard anything else about it, did you?
Right. Yeah. They was just out. And
they didn't talk about it. You just started the quarter. And
yeah, they just looked and that person's gone. And so there was like a weeding out, but I think there's a weeding out process all the way through, because even in my senior year doing animation, there were certain people who would like switch majors, or like they just realized that it wasn't it. And like, because and we've talked on the show about it, because we've had quite a few SCAD people, and we talk about how like it's tough, it is very much. This show sometimes sounds like a commercial for SCAD, but I only talk about. But I like to bring on people because I like to hear different experiences.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm trying to. The purpose of the show is to talk about people's creative journey and how it's hard, and I think a lot of people see, writers or people in making plays and producing or animation, or they see the creative field, and I think they have an incorrect viewpoint on the difficulty that it's involved, and I'm trying to show that it's difficult even from the educational standpoint, especially at SCAD. I can't speak for any other art college. I
Right.
just know when I talk to people about my experience at SCAD, it ain't their experience when I talk to them about
Yeah,
their
yeah,
program.
yeah. I mean
But
that is so true. I think especially when you're working in a creative career, and I say it unseen just because you don't necessarily see a writer writing or see an artist creating art like you would see me perform it.
right,
But people very often think just because I don't have to go to a 9 to 5 that I'm not working. And the tirades I've gone on to explain that I literally work nonstop because I have a non-traditional career with non-traditional hours.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Y'all at work now at whatever time in the night it is.
yeah. Yeah, I tell people all the time. It's like I was just talking to a friend of mine about how so many careers are like A, B, C. You
Mm-hmm.
do this, you get this, you do this. If you're a doctor, you go to college, then you go to med school, or sometimes you go to graduate school, you go to med school, you do your residency, you follow this script, and there's no script with the creative field,
Mm-hmm.
and our definitions of success can be so wildly different,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
that one person could be really successful and be like, there's another level, whereas another person could be looking at that person's current level and be like, that's my goal, I'll be happy if I get there, and it's all
Exactly.
over the place.
I remember the days when I was just praying to make a literal dollar off of something I'd written. I just said, I think I would be very fulfilled if somebody liked something I'd written so much that they paid me for it. And then you do that every day for years, and that's not enough, right?
Right.
Yeah, we're our hardest critic because even if you are an Academy Award winning creative or whatever the metrics are in your field, there still be somebody to nitpick, whatever that is.
And there's still another level that you feel like you can reach.
Child, I posted about a series that I voiced won an Emmy last year and this year. And somebody was like, "Oh, but it was a daytime Emmy."
I would have been like, and how many do you
Yeah,
have?
yeah. Where's yours?
I'm like, I'm sorry, I missed when you won one.
But you see, right? And that to somebody else, even just being cast on something, you be like, man, this right here. So I feel like we should need to find those moments of joy in even the smallest victories in our careers, because that's humbling to think back on. Wow, goals have been met. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do get it, and a lot of creatives.
Daddy, Dumbo Seth has turning master people into soup. A Dumbo Seth.
Okay, all right,
And then you.
I'm going to pick up Tiffany
okay,
with this.
all right.
I'm drawing the alphabet.
That's awesome. Sorry about that.
No. Hush, Lulu.
But yeah, I do think we as creatives don't spend enough time appreciating the journey.
Yeah.
Because we're so in it, like I'll talk to Jamari about stuff that I'm doing, and in my head I'm like, man, I still got to do this and this, and he'll be like, man, that's great what you just did. I'm like, no, I ain't do nothing.
Actually, what I like to do is I like to give him all the harassment possible, so he'll appreciate those good moments later.
Somebody's got to keep you grounded.
That is my job. It's what
Somebody's gotta keep you
I'll
grounded.
do. Like,
Mhm.
when he does do something really cool, I will be in the audience booing him so he doesn't forget where he came from.
That's what
We
that's what
all
we need.
need a partner in
We
this.
do.
When
We
I
do.
tell you I could not do what I'm doing, another SCAD grad, without he started off just doing art direction, not just, but doing art direction for solo shows, and now is the second in command of GB Pro. But my good friend Andres,
What's his name?
he Posh. Yeah, he humbles me greatly.
Okay, good. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
we all need yes, absolutely. You always need somebody to be like, you ain't shit.
Being a creative, though,
But
do
in
you?
in a productive way.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead, Jamari.
Erica, being a creative, do you feel the need to do a lot of mentoring and reaching back, I guess, in a lot of ways? Because since you talk highly of that partnership and that you had with your fellow alums, you talk about the connections you made with your instructors when you were in there. Do you feel that same need to go back and reach back to other students, other potential younger people?
Yes. I always said I would never be into education, but I love teaching. Part of the performance opportunity I have is at my first collegiate alma mater, the University of Alabama, and I get to teach and to help students create their own shows and to perform and produce them. And I think we don't all feel we need to, because I've seen several people just blatantly act as though they did it all on their own, and there's no need for equity or to dismantle gatekeeping at all. But we are lying to ourselves if we don't say that we can rectify these issues if we choose to, right? Like, if we start opening gates, if I open a door and hold it open until other people can come through, so they hold it open for other people, we have no other opportunity but to either create our own mediums or to be in a point to where our success cannot be denied in the public arena. So mentoring is so important. I mean, I can't say it to creatives enough. Even if you think you don't have anything to teach, if you have survived, if you have a win, if you've created something, you can teach somebody else. So you feel you don't need to, I pity you.
I like doing limited engagements. I'll come in for like a class.
Yeah.
Like, I talk for the one day, but I ain't gonna be there every day.
But
To
this
the people
is
that do,
this
can't be
is
me.
mentoring, though. You don't have to be in a physical classroom. You just have to share knowledge.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there are people that watch podcasts, that watch YouTube videos, watch content, and they're taking notes. I still am. I watch things, and if I hear a gem, I'm like, yeah, let me follow up on that. That's
Okay.
teaching. You're doing it intentionally to share
Right.
and to help. It's teaching.
So let's talk about, what's the first thing you've ever written that you did get paid for?
Oh, let me think. Oh, you want the first thing or
Whichever one you want to tell me.
okay? I was in the third grade, or no, second grade. Second grade.
You went way back. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I want to hear
You got paid for it, so it counts.
I
You
did.
became a professional at third grade.
So no, second grade, because I did
Second grade.
second and third grade. I couldn't remember which one was first, but second grade in Birmingham, UAB has this, or had this thing called the Young Authors Conference.
Okay.
And they would give a prompt or whatever it was to schools, and students had to write and illustrate a book. If they chose your book, you were put on panel and you could sell the book and make money. And they gave you, a little check. I don't remember how much, but a little check, something like that. Probably $40 or whatever. But at second grade, you gave me $40.
$40. That would have been a whole lot of
You would think that would be a lot to sixth graders now. They might look at you funny.
No, they will. I know they will. I've spoken to a group of sixth graders and told them there's a $500 cash prize. And they say, I can make that in the streets. It's true.
Maybe not in my second grade, but I'm old. So.
Mine either. $40 and I could sell the books. They were for $2 a piece, and I sold.
Listen, I'd have been out there. I'd have been out there like a drug dealer, making it rain with my books.
I got that book right here.
Always
What you
an
want?
entrepreneur. So I knew I couldn't draw. So I hustled my cousin Monica into illustrating for me and gave her a percentage of the proceeds.
Okay.
I said, well, I'm doing the majority of the work, so I can't give you 50%. But what if I give you 20% off each sale? And she was like, okay, girl, because she wasn't expecting nothing. I think I was able to give her at least $20, $30 or something like that.
Okay.
And she was like, girl, thank you.
Hey, listen, you just held the door open for somebody, even at that young age.
You made some money. You got money. Somebody else got money.
And she did it. I got chosen in the third grade too because she did it again.
She did it again. See, I hope you sweetened the deal this time.
I did.
I was about to say 20%. I'm an artist. I would have been like maybe about 40.
I told you I was also a great producer.
I'm
always trying to get the bottom line.
You did.
I don't know. Let me look at the camera. Blenda's Baby Production does not hustle creatives. We pay fair rates. Okay, we highlight our creators. We do not exploit. All right, young Erika did.
Young Erika,
the
young hustler.
So what you're saying is, if your company been called Young Erika, you be getting all of them.
I named my company after my mama because I knew she would keep us straight and narrow.
Okay.
No, my mama, let me tell you about her. She does what my heart wants to do, but sometimes I'm too cheap to do. Because if you own a business, sometimes you start counting coins. You're like, okay, gotta, it's not quite working this month, whatever. So for the show, the last Rhythm of Blues I did, our ushers were phenomenal. Our head of house, phenomenal, right? So she feeds them all. We have craft services in the dressing room. And when I say my mama, child, it was anything you think of was in there. Now I'm vegan, so I had maybe 2 little boxes of something for me to eat. Everybody else, ribs, chicken, all that. So the last night, our head of house was just above and beyond, helped us get through a lot of conflicts. Someone tipped me $100 after the show. I was very surprised. I've never been tipped after a show before. I never even expected it. And I thanked the person. And my mother took 50 of those $100 and gave to the head of house and said, honey, when we need you, he said, Miss Wade. And we needed that, right? Because I guarantee you that person's going to be so kind and helpful in the future. But also, I'm like, I just got this moment.
I know, you just got the money. How you going? Then you took 50%.
When you're part of it, when you're a big part of the show, you're usually the last one to get paid.
And I was. I still had not been paid for the show. Everybody else, the theater, director, my mama, everybody else, for writing and producing and performing, I still haven't been paid yet because I was waiting to get ticket sales back to pay myself. And the only pay I've gotten for months of work, she halves it.
Listen, I'll be like, Mama, I love you, but you touch my money, you have a problem.
I wish I would. I wouldn't be here today talking to y'all kind folks. My mama slap me.
I would just disagree. I'd be like, or at least we going. Hey, look, let me go get you some change. I'll get you $25. Here you go. Then you got something.
No,
50%. But that's all right. That's mama.
That's mama.
That's mama.
She was looking out. She's looking out for the future. She knows you're gonna need that person again, and that person is going. They're probably gonna say yes.
That's why I agreed to the title that she gave herself.
Oh.
She's a director of outreach, and by God, she does it.
That's all right.
There you go. Gave mama a job. There you go.
So
she gave herself one.
So you told us the origin of Hustler,
Yeah.
Erica. Let's hear professional Erica. Your first professional writing assignment that you got paid like an adult.
Mm. Shoot, girl, let me go back and think. Now I don't know if this is the first, but this was one of the first that I was just like, yeah, I think this will work out.
Okay.
It wasn't even dramatic writing, and this I tell writers or creatives in general, learn how to hustle your hustle, right? If you can write a script, you can write social media captions. So I got hired to write a Tampax Radiant campaign, and I was floored for one. Um, Secondly, it was at the time living in LA one of the largest checks for one bit of writing, and for so little writing as well. I think all in all, I turned into them 20 words.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So that was when I kind of got real with myself and said, you need to put as much time into this as you do into all these side hustles and day jobs and things like that. Because if you grow this, this can multiply. This was the first gig for that, right? So imagine
Okay.
the next one and the next one. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. I always love hearing the genesis, like that first time where I'm a professional, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I got money. Somebody actually paid me for it.
Your arrival moment.
Right. Well,
I call it my Mary Tyler Moore moment because I literally skipped down Beverly Boulevard singing, "You're gonna make it."
Okay, Erica, we've established that we are the old men here.
we are the old man.
How do you know who Mary Tyler Moore is?
I was raised.
No,
I was raised by older folks. I grew up listening to the Platters, honey. So
I don't even know what that is.
right.
What's the Platters?
You start playing. Oh yes, I'm the great pretender. Okay, never mind.
Wait, is it gospel?
No.
What is that?
This is. I wouldn't even call it Motown. It's a little bit before, I think.
It's kind of like it's like doo wop. It's almost it's like
I probably know the song. I just probably
you've heard the song.
Yeah.
The one that a lot of people know now, the version that Freddie Mercury did in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But this is I know that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all right. Hey, listen, I was actually curious how you knew Mary Tyler Moore too. But.
For real. Yeah.
I had to meet the showrunner. Scad wrote her down, and boot camp, right? Only a select few of us were invited to a luncheon with her. And I sat next to that woman. I asked her everything I could.
That's all right.
I'm
actually jealous now because I don't even know if I knew that Scad had a creative writing major. I might have minored in it if
they have creative writing and then dramatic writing. Dramatic writing is in performing arts. Well, it was. I don't know where we are now. And creative writing is in literary arts. So but like most of the majors, so many variations that you can do.
Well, my original
existed when I was
my original major was computer art when I went to SCAD the first time, and then when I came back, they had broken it up into like 2D, 3D, motion graphics. They had it splintered it. So I that makes sense because it was probably something different when I was going back in.
More than likely.
No, I'm
I think creative writing is older. Dramatic writing is newer because they had so many film students that were requesting screenwriting classes.
Oh, so it was probably creative writing when I went when I first went there.
To be honest, because it was relatively new. When I got there, they were still not new, but they were still fleshing the bones out.
Because I'm a 99 SCAD student, so I don't remember it being. It might have been there, but my focus was so. Again, when I got there, it was like, okay, I want to do comic books.
Yeah.
I mean, once I was told there ain't no money in comic books, I was like, let me try something else. And then I tried computer art. So I probably was like not even really thinking about writing, because I don't think I was really that deep into writing back then. I was more of a artist. So it's interesting hearing that, because I know I probably would have tried to do some creative writing.
Yeah. At least some classes or something.
I know. So what is your favorite project you've ever worked on?
Mm, oh, um, so it wasn't like necessarily anything that I wrote or had anything to do with, but just kind of helped with. And I don't know if favorite is the word. My first project that I ever got a chance to get set experience from was a SCAD thesis film. I'm not going to say the name. Don't ask me because it's well known. um,
You gotta tell us after.
Yes.
We'll go offline. You gotta tell me
Mhm.
after. You gotta tell me after. At the end of the stream, then you can tell
Shaking
me.
in my boots. Well, the writer especially is well known, and I will talk. Yeah, but anyway, so I was super excited. Black people, black film. They said you're gonna grip, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't know what it is, but I'll grip. Ciao. It was a crash course in reality, but I always think of it
In the
fondly.
grip, the people that gotta hold it.
Yeah.
I just in case you don't know, I'm 4 feet 11 inches tall. They also the next day had me boom.
So you had the boom mic.
It was in every shot. Get higher. I'm like, I can't.
Usually they'll give you a ladder or something.
It was still in every shot. 4 feet 11 inches tall. I did the best I could. I would have had to stand on the top of the ladder, balancing.
Somebody wasn't being a good producer. Somebody wasn't being a good director.
Somebody thought this was cute. They were like, yeah, this is gonna make my day. And then they left me outside with all the equipment and said, don't let anyone take or touch this equipment. I said, got it. How long should I sit here until we come back? Well, they all left that location. This company moved minus me and the equipment that was there. So I was there for hours in the hot Savannah heat. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is what making movies is like. I've got to.
They were hazing you?
Yeah. And that's why I always look at it and I can laugh. And it's so fun and funny to me, even though it was traumatic then, because I needed that. So I can now look at sets and say, this is not ethical. We're not going to do these things. That's not cute. Another movie set same year, for some reason, it was just like torture the little girl. I was a PA and I was asked to stop traffic. Now, I had been in Myers class long enough to be like, A and B. No, I'm not doing that. So
They just like messing with you.
Mm-hmm.
The boom thing, I think, purely was for comedy. They could not have thought that was going to work. There's no possible
That's
way.
very creative hazing right there.
Yeah.
That's very creative hazing.
I'm also in a sorority, so a non-hazing sorority.
So you went to? Did you go? Were you in the sorority during SCAD or after?
Oh, before. So when I went to UA.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
you went for your graduate
Mm-hmm.
at SCAD. Okay.
Okay.
Now that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I knew people who were in SCAD, but they still they pledged outside of SCAD.
No, I had already decided I had to go to an undergrad that I grew up with my mom being an AKA, my dad's a Kappa, my brother's a Kappa, and I always wanted to be an AKA. I grew up in the college environment at HBCUs, and that was just what I wanted to do. So I decided that if it wasn't at my undergrad, I just wouldn't do it, because I wanted to have a traditional undergrad experience and then, move forward with whatever else my education was going to be about. because I didn't want to have to base grad school off of whether Greek life was possible or not. I don't know. It may have made sense. It may not have, but I kind of figured that grad school was the most important if it comes to the rigor and
Mm-hmm.
focus of it. If I'm going to go to both, because that's where I'm mastering this.
Right.
I'm just fooling around in undergraduate trying to figure
Right.
it out.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is your dream project right now? Like, I know the dreams change and everything, but what's your dream project right now?
I'm so happy you asked me this. I don't even know what all it looks like, and I know I'm probably going to be the one to write it. I want to do stunts. I want harnesses. I want to jump off stuff. I want a challenging role where emotionally, I'm having to really commit to different things, like a psychological thriller, and I just would love more opportunities to challenge myself as a writer and a performer. I would love to do more accents. I would love to do animation. As far as voice acting goes, just anything I have not done yet. I feel like until they kill me, let me do it.
So that sounds like what you need to do is a movie, a kind of a something that allows you to throw two genres together that normally they wouldn't put together.
Yeah.
Which
is my jam. I love magical realism, so I write animation into live action TV shows all the time, like A Dream or Trip. It'll animate itself or something like that. So,
kung fu fantasy movie.
Hey, I would take it so seriously. I would go through all. Actors talk about the grueling training. Put me through it. Take me to the woods. Throw knives at me. I want to be great.
I'm still trying to figure out how you didn't until grad school realize you needed to perform.
That's a good question. I mean, you could literally just use this interview and nobody would know.
No,
like, yeah, she's probably
here is your reel right
here. We've crossed quite a few emotional, performances here.
And I can cry on cue. I don't want to do it now.
Oh,
you can! Wow,
that's creative.
I used to try to see if I could do that. Back my brief period of thinking I could do acting, and I said, "Can I do it?" No, I can't do it. I can never figure it out.
It's a muscle.
It's gotta be, yeah.
Like right here under the eye, but you have to be able to convincingly trigger it. So I'm gonna tell you, and now everybody knows my secret.
Okay.
But when I'm about to trigger my muscle, I always, look away, kind of as though it's really hard for me to concentrate on what I'm doing, and then I blink this eye a little bit, and when I come back, it's already kind of welling. And I wait until I need, and if you notice in my shows, now everybody's going to have like a YouTube edits of noticing Erika.
You're just going to piece it together. If I had the time, I'd do it.
I will have arrived.
Oh, yeah, that's when you know you've been there.
Yeah.
When somebody is to take the time to do something that they don't have to do.
I feel like I need to follow you on some sort of social media because I'm sure it's entertaining.
Well, on that note, tell people your TikToks, your YouTube. Tell everybody right now.
So everything is the same. I learned this is to make it easy for everybody. Erika, ERIKA _ Glendas, GLENDAS, baby. That's it.
Okay. Is it Instagram too?
Yeah. I'm not on TikTok. I really should be. I have one. I lurk.
Erika _ you said?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it right now.
I feel like you would. I feel like you were kind of born for a platform like TikTok.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know what? Let me tell y'all my beef with TikTok, and it's not even related to TikTok even. I was at UA. This when Vine was popular, right?
Okay.
And I was making my Vines. Baby, I was making, and they were funny, and people were watching them. And one of my sorority sisters came up to me and said, people think you crazy because all them little videos you be making and stuff. And back then, I think my self-esteem wasn't quite where it needed to be again in performance. And so I stopped. And as soon as I stopped, people that I knew were going viral offline with some of my ideas. And so I said, never again. Never. I'll never. And so TikTok came along. I said, F you.
But you know, there's always somebody. There's always somebody that's gonna criticize.
It can only help you at this point.
Can I give a special message to whoever that was?
Go ahead.
The outro. Okay. To whoever decided to say that I was crazy because of the videos that I posted in undergrad. Well, I, at one point, got paid thousands of dollars for 20 words. What have you done lately?
I'm literally trying to be like you.
I've been waiting. You ruined Vine for me.
You clearly only have one recourse. You have to reclaim.
You gotta go back. Yeah, you gotta TikTok. Right, you would kill it in TikTok.
Nothing
easily.
After this will matter.
Easily.
Well, but even still, like honestly, it doesn't really. It don't take but one viral thing for people to start following you real quick.
What do I even say? Just talk?
No, like people are doing.
Find a platform. Find something you feel like is interesting. Write skits. Tell people how you write skits. If you are engaging and you have a personality and you have all the personality, that they will find you, and it's waiting for. It's there waiting. It's like come to us. It's waiting for.
I'll taught you something today. See, I told you, teaching.
Well, yeah, like we should, do the skits and stuff like that. I mean, there was the little girl who did the Little John video, who mimicked the Little John video, and then she did another one, and you would be perfect for that. I have a friend who's all in TikTok, and he's got thousands of followers. He does his little skits, and I didn't mean little skits like that. He does his skit. Nah, he gonna get on me about that. He does his skits.
He's coming for you.
And stuff like that.
Gonna come for me for some of the stuff I said today.
But listen, like I was gonna say, there's always somebody that's gonna see what you're doing and have a little snide remark for it because they didn't do it or they can't do it.
Yeah, it's a daytime Emmy.
Listen, you couldn't. If I won an Emmy, you wouldn't tell me nothing.
Right.
You remember Living Color?
Yeah.
When he used to when they had the dudes they were hawking the celebrity stuff and they had the Oscar and they put it on a chain.
Oh.
I would literally walk around with my Emmy on a chain. You couldn't tell me.
My mom has accosted me for it. She was just like, "What's the point of it if you don't talk about it? No one even knows you got the first one." And I was just like,
you literally should be calling yourself Emmy Award winning.
There you go. That should be on your social media.
That should be right there on your little your where your name is
right now.
Right where your name is. Again, I have not won a big award yet for the things that I do, but literally the minute I get nominated, you will never hear the end of it from me. I will change my Facebook name. Don't let me listen. Yeah, I'm telling people one of my biggest dreams is to win an Oscar. I want to be an Oscar for writing or directing.
Yeah.
I want not for acting. I'm not gonna be an actor.
It takes too much. I'm telling you. You gotta be able to cry and stuff.
Yeah. I can do it, but like remembering lines and stuff like that, like it's not fun for me. But I'm gonna get me an Oscar. The minute I win an Oscar,
I'm crying.
You ain't never gonna hear the end of it. Hell, I do comics right now. If I get an Eisner, I'm wearing that joint like a chain. I'm wearing it right here.
You know what? I want to be more like you. I need to. My mom says so. Right before the Emmys, I won 2 tellies specifically for voiceover. So those I talk about a little bit more because overall performance, I've talked myself out of thinking. Even though there's only one performer anyway. So my mom says, well, that's okay. They come to my house. She said,
oh no, my mom would have stole mine.
She gonna put them in her
Oh,
Zoom
my
setup when
goodness.
she has meetings. She's gonna be right.
That would have been my grandmother when she would have had everything put up on a mantle somewhere,
Yeah.
and everybody would have known.
Mhm.
Shoot, my if I won an Emmy, that joint would be right in front. As soon as you walk in my house. As
We
soon
don't
as you walk
question
in my
that.
house.
We do not question it.
Dude, listen, it's gonna be right there. Look, the reason why I say this is because there are so many people, like I said, that want to tear you down.
Yeah.
And so when you get a victory, I'm gonna make that victory loud and clear. I have a goal this year that I want to sell 1,000 comics. 1,000 comics of mine. I am halfway there. I'm more than halfway there. I'm at like 6 something. When I sell 1,000 books, I'm literally changing my name to Javon O. Stokes, the man of 1,000 books. I'm gonna put it right. Like you ain't gonna hear. You ain't never gonna hear. You gotta celebrate your victories,
You're so
man,
right.
because
Yeah.
it's so hard to get them. And
Yes.
you are very talented, and you have done so much. You should be plastering your stuff everywhere. You should be doing TikTok. You're the first Emmy award winning person on. Second award winning person. I got to give a shout out to Rodney Barnes. Rodney Barnes was on the show.
I'm sure he handles his a lot better.
Nah, Rodney will tell you. From my understanding, for what we talked to Rodney for the hour and a half. No, it was 2 hours, wasn't it? It was like 2 hours. Rodney, if you haven't watched the Lakers,
Winning
the
time.
rise and fall of the Lakers on HBO.
HBO, okay.
Yeah, he wrote and was a co-creator of that.
Dope.
Yeah, and he's big time.
Yeah.
And but he'll tell you that's but we, like I said, our victories aren't always frequent and they're not always consistent. So when they are, but we get more grief than victories. We get more criticism. We get more. That's not really good.
Well, even when you do, it stays with us. It seems the grief seems to stay with us longer.
Oh yeah.
It could be the smallest of things. Somebody could frown at me the same day that I just made a bunch of money, and I'd be like, "Oh no."
You'd be thinking about that frown all day.
Yeah.
You just talked about it. You felt the need. Somebody said something to you that affected you so much from years ago. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The more you celebrate your victories, the less that little voice of that little petty person, it should drown it out. So you keep celebrating your victories.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
So you guys got me thinking. I'm gonna say this is my last thing I'm gonna say on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's an old commercial. It's a Nike commercial with puppet versions of LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, and one of them has Kobe walking around to LeBron saying, "Have you seen my 3 championship rings? I seem to have misplaced my 3 championship rings." And at the very end of the episode, the commercial, he's got the rings in a big display case right in front of the house so that you can't help but see the 3 rings. So it's kind of like that situation where you need to have your Emmy right there in a case with all the light on it. So when they walk in the foyer of your house, have you seen my Emmy?
I'm going to get a trophy case.
You should, absolutely.
I'm using them as bookends.
Wherever you're most prominent, it should be right there. Everybody needs to know the greatness that you did. Like everybody, like I tell you, if I ever want an Emmy, don't listen.
I did change my bio, at least.
Now every time
y'all have, no, not the one y'all have,
not the one that I have. I would have. That would have been the first thing I would have led with. I would have called you.
I won them after. I won them after.
Okay, but I would have called you that. Literally introduced you.
And you see, I didn't say anything about it.
You ain't say nothing. I got my little most opinionated man in comics thing here. You should have had a Emmy award-winning writer.
2 times.
Two times.
So you could literally wear them like cufflinks. That's what I would do. I would literally have them like cufflinks. No joke. I'd be like, oh man, my wrists are hurting.
Right.
And I have them on my shoulders like shoulder pads, like one on each side.
I feel utterly ashamed because again, one of them is a year old. So no, I don't even think I posted at all. Maybe one. I think about
that should be your Facebook. I would have you should have had them over like this, like you couldn't tell me nothing. So that is my advice to you. That is free advice. You make them things. You let everybody know. You can't hide them. Don't hide it.
Do a whole skit on your TikTok
For real.
Skit with the Emmys talking to each other about you.
Will Smith did it. Didn't Will Smith do it? Didn't Will Smith have what he was talking about?
No. It's the tellies that I'm the most excited to get because they're so pointy looking.
Do you have more? Do you have other awards like that too, or?
Yeah. At my house, I gave a lot of them to my mom so they wouldn't collect dust.
Now you gotta get them back from mama.
I have this nice crystal kind of award I got from AT&T. It's not a recognition by name that you would know it, but it looks cool. The 2 Telly Awards.
Nope, you got to get all them back from mama. Be like, mama, I love you. Well, you got 2, so she can have one.
She can have one.
That's my degrees. I don't even have my degrees at my house.
I never used to do that. I never used to display my degree in my apartment. But when we moved in, when I got married and we moved into the house, I was like, I worked really hard for this damn thing.
The house that I think makes you want to display them. I gave them to her originally because I was in apartments in LA and I was just terrified that moving, what would happen to them.
Right.
So when I moved into the house, I didn't even ask for them though because she has her degrees, mine and my brother's all on the same wall, and she loves to walk people in the room and just say, my family. I'm gonna let my mama shine because if I don't say anything, she will. And
Mama doing her job.
Mama just trying to show you what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, let her handle it because I won't.
Listen, I've been really thinking about framing like a couple my first comics like that I did. I haven't done it yet. I've just been lazy.
I'm kind of surprised you haven't.
I'm lazy, dude. I just told you I'm lazy.
Framing requires effort, though.
Because I can't just get any old frame. I gotta actually find
size it a lot.
And there ain't many frames the size of a comic book.
The only reason I'm defending you, though, all of my show posters are curled up in my office closet.
Come on now.
My therapist and I are going to have a nice chat.
I want you to tell your therapist that I said everything that I said today. Listen, there is a time and a place to be humble. Your home is not it.
I think I'm strongly considering getting a bracelet made that says Emmy Award winner.
Hey,
it's
like a championship ring.
I would have a whole necklace that says Emmy Award winning writer. Literally like a Flavor Flav type necklace. If I ain't gonna put the actual Emmy on the chain, I'm gonna have a gold plated, looking like ghetto Superman, like.
Because they tarnish. They don't. If you don't keep them up, they lose their luster.
You can get a wrestling belt that you can carry around, put around your waist that says Emmy Award winner.
Every time my friends would come over, I would ask my wife to open the door, and I would just be like, "Hey guys, how you doing? What's going on, guys? You guys can have a seat. Don't mind me. Don't mind me."
I've got to do better.
This is free material, by the way.
It is. It is.
This,
It
you can
is.
have all this for the TikTok. I just want 40%. Don't give me the don't give
Yeah.
me the
Are you
the,
sure
the don't give me the
20%?
Erica Wade, the second grade Erica Wade rates. All right.
Okay, but what about 20% as some candy?
I don't eat candy.
Oh,
Not like
okay.
that. Not like that. I
Okay.
try not to. No, I need
Okay.
40. I need
Oh,
40%. All right, we'll do 30%. And you got to put created by Javon Stokes at the bottom every time.
listen, you out negotiated your own self because I was sure about to say, what if I give you 30% and some exposure?
I was at 30% in a writing credit.
That's all it's written by. There you go. There you
You know
go.
the industry love to give you some exposure, like
I
you can
know.
eat that for dinner.
You can't eat exposure.
No,
It
Hold,
you know.
hold up.
my
Let me go deposit the exposure in my bank account.
Well, I was reading up about like what is it, spec scripts and stuff like that, and that the industry does. And I was just like, this is the dumbest. This sounds like the dumbest thing in the world.
And you also know that a lot of spec scripts are stolen, right?
Right, right.
I won't speak much on it, but I could have had an Emmy in my last quarter at SCAD had I been given credit.
If you watching, you know better. Do better.
Yeah.
Get this woman her credit.
Oh, this person has been known to do this too.
Mm.
And it's sad because when it's your own kinfolk, you know, anyway.
That's tough. That's tough. Yeah,
NDA.
but I was reading about that. I was reading about them spec scripts, and I was just like, I don't know if I would ever do this. You couldn't get me.
It used to kind of work in the past, but in today's era, I don't think you have to write a speculative episode. Well, okay, so for people that don't know what a spec script is, a spec script is when you are interested in writing for a show that's already been created, and so you write a speculative or spec script that fits within the world and most importantly the voice of the writer that created that show. So you would essentially look at all the episodes you could and write an episode that could happen that season but didn't get scheduled, essentially. And a lot of people require them. A lot of fellowships used to require specs. They've started to move a little bit past it and take pilots or content, which I think is a much better indicator of your true writing ability. A spec script simply proves one thing, one important thing. You can write in this room and not cause issues. Because that I've had people in rooms that I've created and they have tried to recreate my show. And so I kind of understood why it's important to have somebody that you know is not going to come in here and try to turn your show into something else. But that's the only thing spec scripts do.
And then there was what else did I read? It was reading about how, writers how did he put it? Just talking about how like writers would do a pilot and then you really don't get paid anything.
This is a different podcast, child. You opening some worms.
It just means we need to have you back.
Well, here's the deal. Like I do my research because I do want to get into writing scripts and stuff. Like I'm currently writing a script. I announced it on here. I'm writing a script for my comic book character to be put into a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to I'm reading up on the process and what the process entails. And I was reading up on pilots and I'm just like, this seems depressing as hell. And
it depends. And I think I know where you're going with it. And I'll say this, you're already ahead of the game because you have the world of your comic character figured out. And so when you create your show Bible, you can show you have legs. A lot of times people will, have a quick pilot or a deal where we're going to put this pilot on air to see how it does. And if it doesn't do well, usually when you get a deal like that, it's because the studio or whoever is investing the majority of the stake in it doesn't believe the show will have ratings.
Right.
And I love my writers, but I can curse. I'll be damned if I get in front of a studio and even if I don't know what that show, babe, I'm gonna write it in front of you. I'm not gonna let you catch on that I don't know past the pilot what this looks like. Because yes, you get writers for a room, but writers flesh out the world that you have created. They
Right.
don't create the world.
Mm.
Yeah. So don't. Yes, it's depressing how some of this stuff can go down. And I'm gonna be frank with you. As many things as you write and as many deals as you get close to, as many of them will fall through. And some
Oh
of
yeah.
it won't be because of you. It'll
Yeah.
just be the studio doesn't want this anymore. They ran out of money. This person is on drugs now and can't commit to it anymore. Whatever it is. But if you trust in what you're writing and you can sell it and yourself, you shouldn't be too. I've never had anybody to doubt that I could produce 5 seasons of a television show because that's what I'm telling you I'm going to write. I'm telling
Right.
you after 5 seasons, this will end and a spinoff will begin.
Well, it's also a different time, especially with streaming services, because a lot of streaming services don't even allow you to get past like a first season. Um, they don't allow a show to get legs at all.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
reading about The Bear. I've never watched the show The Bear,
yeah.
but
And it was all the rave when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
really,
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
For
so I
some
read
reason,
that
people were
it.
crazy.
I had read that the viewership went up right before the beginning of the second season because people were getting on the streaming services. They had seen the marketing for it, but a lot of streaming services like Netflix doesn't even allow you to get past like 2 seasons sometimes.
so
Paramount's cutting they cut like 3 shows, and not only are they cutting them, they're taking them off, so you can't even go back to watch them
and
later.
you
Yeah.
can't get revenue for them if they don't air it. And I'll say this: that is real. Those things are happening, but I always like to give some hope. What if you then create Wednesday moments that create a viral show? Yeah, Wednesday was a good show, but that dance made that show pop off.
Sure enough did.
Ortega choreographed that dance herself. So you see how creators can take the control in the ways that they can and make something viral. I'm gonna say it again. I will be damn. I don't care who you are as a studio. You tell me I'm not gonna have more than one season, baby. I'll go on Facebook with the second season, and you will be begging me to come back to you. Because once I get my audience attached, I'm unstoppable. You're a check.
HBO did that dumb mess with Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I mean that just happened with the HBO show. Was it The Idol? They didn't even make it through their first season.
Well, they didn't make it
Well-
through the first season for a lot of reasons. A lot of bad press about things that were happening on set. Press
really?
can kill you before. That's nothing. Press can make or break you, right? And
Oh, look at The
so
Flash.
if I'm a creative and I know I'm good at social media and I know I have certain permissions, I can't say everything, but I can say certain things. Like now, I don't have to promo this show, but promoing things makes people always follow me because they're like, well, something's coming, right? Take what you can take in control in your own hands. And shows frequently find themselves on different platforms and will sometimes do so much better on that new platform. I can't think of any to save my life right now, but I know for a fact there've been shows.
Was it American Dad?
Yeah, American Dad's one. I want to say, did All American change platforms?
No, but I believe that the Netflix, them being on Netflix, kind of buffered the show because
Yeah,
Breaking
I
Bad
didn't
had
even.
that happen.
That was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, Breaking Bad did.
Breaking Bad, it had a following, but it truly found like the big boy following when they were running it. People caught it on Netflix and that's how I caught it on those last 2 seasons.
Yep.
Manifest was like that too.
And all of that, if you're a great producer, shoot, I will always have, the soundtrack can work for you more than you know. Get those sounds to go viral. Get people to make reaction videos with lines from your film. You know,
That's great.
there are things that you can do. And I'm not saying the studios can't completely kill something, but they can't kill your audience. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
If you find your audience, you can go from medium to medium. And this is the best example I will ever give you. When Beyonce and Jay-Z went to Tidal, all of us went over there and signed up. I didn't even know how to work that thing, and I was over there. Hell, Beyonce got me damn too.
I'll give you a good example of how that worked for me. Have you ever? We were just talking about stuff that we were watching on the show before you came on, and it was the TV show From, and it's got Harold Perrineau in it. It comes on MGM, but anyway, I was scrolling through Instagram, or was it Twitter, one of the two, and the guy was like, "I challenge you to watch the first 8 minutes of From, and if and I guarantee you'll be hooked." And I was like, "Bet, I'll do it." And sure enough, I was like, "Damn, I gotta keep watching it."
And you see how that stuff starts. And if I'm a smart producer, I know a content creator that has a strong following that meets the themes in my show. I called him. I say, "Hey, I got an idea for you." And now it's a viral trend. And now my show that was on the verge of being canceled has now these crazy ratings overnight that cannot be disputed. So even if that studio drops us, I can go to another studio and say, "Hey, well, I don't have a contract with them anymore. They don't own the IP. I own my IP, or at least the majority of it."
That's key right there.
And how can you own your IP? I don't know. Well, if you write and try to at least produce a pilot or a sizzle reel, and you come into the room saying, "This is what I can bring to the table."
So I'm glad you're on, so I can actually run this stuff by you. So actually, that's what I'm want to do. Like, I'm writing my script, I'm writing my Bible for my character. I'm going to do how do I put it? Like a sneak peek. I'm going to animate like a couple of the scenes from it, and then that'll be my pitch. Like, that's what I will show to people. And then if I don't get any bite, then I will fund and animate like the first episode.
Yeah.
And then I'll just put it out.
Yeah.
And then
I would say put that trailer or the snippet out before you even show it to who you want to pitch it to. And the reason I say that is because subliminals, right? So I know who I'm trying to pitch it to, and I put it on Facebook and I target the audience, and it just so happens to be in a demographic that I know they're going to reach. They keep seeing this content over and over again. So then when I sit down to meet with them, they're like, "Yeah, I've heard of this." Whether they know anything about it or
Right. That's a great idea. I'm glad you came on today. We just helping each other.
Yeah, for real.
You wear your Emmy on your neck. And I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna show up with some new bling.
Listen, we need you back on, and we need when you come on, we need you to either have the Emmy in your hand, or as earrings.
It needs to be like this.
I can do the earrings.
No, it needs to be like right here.
No,
like you need to talk through it. Like,
y'all
it needs to look like Emmy. It needs to sound like Emmy is talking for you. That's what.
What if I come on and I don't show my video? I just have like a picture.
No, that's not. No, anybody can do a picture.
You can do that.
We need to
actually.
It needs to be like this.
As your
you need to be like this. So, yeah. What was you saying again? Oh yeah. And then you need in your background across. It needs to say, "Where's your Emmy?" And then you are immediately sending a message to certain individual who remain nameless.
Right. I don't even remember, because that's the thing. My sorority sister didn't even tell me who said it. So whoever you are,
listen. I told you. Look, I could sit here. I could tell you of all the hate. Listen.
You know my name.
Listen, you and I, we are getting to know each other. We've never met. So you and I, and we are already really cool. And you probably never seen the show before, but I've told these stories before. I've been doing comics since 2013. I had a lot of people before I even put out my first book tell me how I would never do it, how nobody would ever buy it. when I put a preview of my book out, I had people online, oh, you need a new artist. Nobody's going to buy it. Yada, yada, yada.
Haters.
And I never forget.
Yeah.
I will forgive you for everything. If you and I work through, I will forgive you. But I do not forget. I've had people who trash talk me, buy my book, look me dead in the eye and say, this is great, and buy my book.
Oh yeah.
And I never brought up the fact that they did it, but we know. So that look in your eye,
yeah.
that look in your eye when you hand me your money, that look I'm giving you is, you said this wasn't gonna happen, but here we are.
Yeah.
And it's not, to me, it's not even like an ego thing. It's not a hubris thing. It's, I use it to fuel me. Like, I'm very much if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to show you that I can do it. And I'm going to do it very loudly. I'm going to do it right in your face.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to remind you that you said I couldn't do it.
But you know.
But you know what you said. And so, I'm always encouraging people, be loud and be out front with your success and your accomplishments, because I know there's at least 10 people who, if they didn't do it to your face, they did it behind your back and told you that, and told other people that you couldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
I know because there's always people that's always going to say this person can't do it, what he think he going to do, what he thinks she going to do.
Yeah.
And, they always want to tear people down because they didn't get to do their dream. And so that's why I'm encouraging you to be loud with it. You need to have a t-shirt made. And it just says, I won an Emmy. And then on the back, did you, with a question mark. That's the t-shirt you need made when you go to your high school reunion. You need to rock that.
Been.
Oh man. Please tell me you had one of them back then. Did you have one?
No. So these are the past few years. But I will say this: my high school reunion was super, super weird. I was just kind of expecting to float around. I got there late, really late. And when I did, everybody turned around and like, "You came!" And people had almost memorized my resume. I didn't know if it was a joke or.
That's beautiful.
It just felt so strange, to the point to where I bought people shots so they would leave me alone.
Nah, you should have soaked that in.
They should have been buying you the shots.
But that's how I am, though.
Listen, I'm telling you, when I hang around people who I've grown up with, and they're telling me about, oh, I see you grinding, I see you comic, I'm like, thank you very much. I soak it in, because
I usually make a combination of this face.
No, I did something. I've started to do something, and I'm really embarrassed that I do. Because I used to see celebrities do it, and I'd be like, "Why are they doing it?"
What is it?
And I don't know if Jamari, have you ever seen me do it? But like, people would like compliment me, and I'll be like, "Thank you so much," and I hate it. I hate that I do it.
Are you?
But I don't do it by mistake. People? I do it. It's like it's because I used to see it so much. I you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to see people.
Yeah. But right. We all pick something.
I be feeling like stupid when I do, because like I'll do it and then I'll immediately be like, "What are you doing?" I'll be like, "Thank you so much, man."
Well, I told you about my cry trick. I'm gonna look up for a long time and come right back. So now we know yours.
I know. Every time somebody see me, I'm going to be.
I say lean into it.
Really?
Why can't you be looking at feel?
Because I used to make fun of people doing it. I used to make so much fun. I used to think it was so pretentious. I am right now. Yeah. Right now. I'll be like, "Thank you so much. I appreciate it." Every time, if you see me at a Comic-Con and you tell me something that I do looks nice, I'll be like, Thank you so much. I
At least you
appreciate it.
verbalize the thank you, because most times it's
No, I'm not that douchebag. I'm not that much of a douchebag.
no. If you had said that's the one you do,
I mean, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. But getting kudos is tough
it is.
from as a creative.
It is.
Like I get it. You're not sure how you take it. So you just find whatever works.
Yeah,
You're like,
Say thank you.
that
you.
works.
There you
Thanks.
go. Say thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I could just be like, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll do that. But like sometimes, like
You
I'm
gotta
in the
go.
middle of like selling my book. So like I don't, my hands, I talk with my hands. So I'll be like, yeah, thank you so much. So it's like it's instinctual. I don't know. I'm gonna try and stop. I
We
promise.
all, and they exist because we're gonna keep doing them. We all have our little celebrity things. Like I didn't know other. Well, yes, I did. I'm a lie. If I don't want to talk to you, even if the room is not that loud, I will mouth my response and not give it words. So like, let's say I'm trying to move out of a line or something. People want to, talk to me. And I'm just walking. I didn't say a word. And so it works all the time in a crowded room, or even if there's a little bit of noise, get away with it easily. But imagine stealthy silence. I'm just like,
So you mean if you're talking to somebody and you don't
if
want to
they're trying
talk
to
to
get
them?
my attention and I need to keep. Because sometimes after shows, meet and greets can last for hours.
Oh, I see what you mean. You're
Yeah.
talking to them, but you're not really.
Yeah. So meet and greets can last for hours. We already did a Q&A. The show itself is 2 hours long. Q&A might add an additional 20 minutes. Then y'all want to be out here for an hour. I'm tired. I stink. I'm trying to go. So sometimes people will still be there, and I don't want to be rude because you done paid your money. But, I will and be gone. I haven't said a word. Word.
I'm gonna start using that one.
Yeah. But try it out in a loud room first. It works better.
You can't be quiet.
I mean, I've done it quietly. No shame. You have to commit to it. If you commit and you keep moving, they're so stunned that they're like,
I can't. I guess it's different. I don't run into situations like that. Like I'm trying to figure out a situation where I would run into
or
where
a conference or something that you don't have time because you want to reach out and be there for everybody that's trying to support you. But at the same time, look, y'all at the end of this line. I ain't gonna stand here. I'm gonna go. I'm sorry. Get out of here.
I mean, I might do the.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not going to call you. I'm not.
I mean, I'm not lying. I didn't say when I'll call you. The call will happen at some point later in life. It doesn't mean I'm lying. It just means that, if I said I'll call you tomorrow, no, I'll be like, I'll call you.
Well, it would be a lie for me.
She's just like, I'm not calling you.
Yeah, if I ever
Then you got to be like,
call you need to check to make sure I'm okay. Like say blink twice,
No,
Erika. If that's the automatic way that I respond is I'll call you, something's wrong.
Something's wrong. Okay, it's good that I know that.
Yeah.
So we won't keep you on again.
Sure.
This was
But
fun.
I'll be, on y'all
On time.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I didn't want to say it, but since you did.
But if for no other reason you come back, we just get to enjoy, the one woman show.
This was definitely a straight one woman show, like no joke. Before we go, though,
an absolute compliment.
Before we go, we want you to give what you got coming out, what you got coming up. Tell everybody, let everybody know.
Okay. Well, the writers are on strike, so log out after that. So I mean, but seriously, I had a TV project and a film project that were a week away from being optioned, and anyway, but they will eventually get to you.
Okay.
Yes. But tangibly, right now, I have another run of the Rhythm the Blues at the University of Alabama. You know, and I'm always cooking up new content and things, writing new things. I'm taking this strike as an opportunity to pray that things improve, but also to create. So
Okay.
since the strike has started, I've already started writing another solo show and a pilot.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right. Well, I would say y'all be on the lookout for Erika's stuff, but just give it some time.
here's some time.
Give it some time.
You know,
But
because they made sure they let you know you scab if you want to.
yeah, just give her a minute, y'all.
Yeah.
Not her fault.
I just want
Not
that.
her fault.
Let me lean into the WGA. I support you. I have halted all operations. Please don't send me no emails. I'm not in the street. I'm at home right now. I was supposed to be in LA. I'm in Birmingham.
But we gonna pray for a quick
Yes.
resolution. Quick resolution.
I'm not trying to save them folks. Please don't come for me.
I know. That I know how the unions can be. But yeah, we want to thank the Emmy Award, 2-time Emmy Award winning writer, producer Erika E. Wade for stopping by and sharing the life of a 2-time Emmy Award winning writer. We appreciate you. I'm very happy to make your acquaintance, and we definitely going to work. I mean, it'd be nice if you accepted my Facebook friend request, but I'm not really going to. I mean,
Listen. I don't have an assistant, so all this stuff I'm doing this on my own. This is tough, man. Like,
Facebook, they have notifications.
Okay,
that
you got children, so you can force them to work for you if you absolutely had to. My dogs they bark this whole time.
I'm gonna correct you.
Correct me.
You can't force kids to do that.
To check your face.
My kids, my daughters, my stepdaughters are 18.
Oh.
And my son is 4. That mid-range there.
What do you think though? 4-year-olds, they've got moxie. Go get it.
Oh, they got moxie. But then you gotta spend more time fixing what they did than you could just do it yourself. All right. I'm gonna make sure you understand this. When Erika accepts my friend request on Facebook and Instagram, we gonna work together. We gonna work something out. Once she is legally and union
confirmed
approved to be able to do so, we definitely gonna do that. We definitely gonna work something out. But I do appreciate you coming on the show, and we definitely gotta get you on. This was definitely one of the funnier shows.
I appreciate that y'all read me a little bit. I needed that laugh before I went to bed.
Nah, this was fun. This was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I hope you are sleeping next to the Emmy. If I would literally be doing that.
They're in my dog's room. My pup. They're in her room.
Every time you just.
I disappoint you more and more, huh?
You are. This is disappointing because I just know the asshole I would become if I won an Emmy.
I mean, your sorority sisters aren't getting on you about this?
I would have Emmy earrings. Like,
I think people have learned now, don't say anything unless she does. And so a lot of times I post things and I can tell people are afraid to congratulate me. It's like, good job. You go.
Again, I'm going to make this very simple. You know how doctors go through all them years of school and they don't let you not refer to them as doctor. You have the same right.
If we were to go down this road, there are several awards that Avery used to force me to not omit the Kennedy Center.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
You have the right. You have the right by winning those. It's like being an Oscar award winner. When you get nominated for an Oscar, that joint goes in front of you.
Automatically goes on right above your name.
Everything you do. It could be the stupidest movie in the world. and what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence got that
Award
weird,
nominated.
crazy comedy out right now,
Yeah,
and it's still Academy Award winning actress
it is.
Jennifer Lawrence.
It sure is.
You bet. Listen, girl, I'm trying to help you out here.
Thank you.
I'm trying to
I
put.
said when I got my EGOT, that's when I would start talking about it.
Look. You can't wait that long. You start now. This is how you build a good habit.
I'll be 74 years old.
Oh my god, you ain't gonna be 74. You're gonna be like 32, and I'm gonna be like, I remember when she was on my defunct podcast that I don't even do no more because I'm too busy. God. But thank you for coming on. This was fun. We appreciate you. This was fun. We definitely gonna have you back whenever you have your next project. Let me know. You can come on and talk about it. I know.
You go back. I went from laughing to crying in a second.
I don't.
The unemployment line started flashing.
But you know what though? Y'all went through this before.
Yeah.
Y'all made it through.
I wasn't making no money then. I didn't give a damn what they did.
But you in a better place now. You in a way better place now. You just said you got a show that you got stuff in the works.
Stuff in the works.
You got stuff in the works. This ain't last time. All right, let me get out of here because I got work to do.
All right.
And I could literally spend another hour explaining to her how to display her Emmy for the best impact.
I'm considering the shirt, the earrings, and the bracelet. Those have resonated the most.
You could also, if you got a car, you could hold ornament. Boom. Just attach it every time you get in the car.
I live
right
in the
there.
South. They would not only
jack it.
They would take the car. They would take me in the car with them.
Let's scratch that one. Scratch that one. Scratch that one.
That's also why I scratched the wrestling belt because I was just like, yeah.
But you could make it like you could do like brass knuckles. Like you could just put like one big ring.
Yeah.
Around and then it'll be like one right there.
And then one for this.
And then boom. And you're just like Sasha Banks. Let me go. All right. Y'all have a great evening. I could do this all night. Thank y'all for stopping by. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for another episode. Thank you for stopping by another episode of the Stoked Podcast, Creative Talker, Creative People, with 2-time Emmy Award winning Erika E. Wade. All right. Kennedy. Wait, no, let me say it right. Let me make sure I say it correctly. Kennedy Center MFA Playwrights Workshop. Come on now. What else we got? Come on now.
I'm not saying it.
Come on. Read your resume. SCAD alumni.
Alive.
Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.